Were you, or were you not, on a gay cruise?
No, you're 120% dick pic.
Everybody that age, they're sperminator.
Yeah.
We don't care about anything else. We're walking hard on looking for a hole.
That's. I have to say you're right on that one. Oh, my God.
A stiff breeze comes through the room and you return the favor.
Got her in. Oh. Somewhere on the outside of this building, there is a hole where squirrels come in.
Better than a hole where dicks come in.
Yeah, better than that.
Going down the stairs to wash the laundry. What the hell? Shh. Pizza. Stop! Stop it now! I order you to stop! I'm still touching myself.
Yeah!
All young bitches want to do is pop pills, smoke weed, get drunk, lay around, suck dick, eat hot Cheetos, charge they phone, get a sew and weave, twerk, be bisexual, eat McDonald's, wash they pussy in the sink, lie, take selfies, and talk shit through Wi-Fi because they phone never on.
I think washing they pussy in the sink is my favorite part. The Vietnamese trade in dongs. Figuratively and literally, I'm sure.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
I did decide to look it up. 500,000 dongs is a good night for Pop's ex.
Like most women, he's an emotional thinker.
Good God.
I mean, that's part of the problem we're having now in our society is we have a bunch of emotional thinkers that want the world to, to fall in line with their emotions. That's not... look, reality doesn't give a shit about emotions.
It's my lived truth. Fuck your lived truth.
No, it's not. It's your perspective.
Kiss my ass.
Literally like, hey, Sergeant Pop, you got to turn your bear suit. I'm like, over my dead body. No. Just give me a statement of charges. Yeah. You're never getting this back. Yeah. You can suck it.
I'm going to wear this with my Russian coat.
you will bury me in this. Hey! Why you got to fucking be like that, man?
Because I'm an asshole, and I learned from the best. I'm sitting across from him, and I'm pointing at you with all four fingers.
All right, first of all, the Russian jacket is World War II surplus.
I'll send you a picture of it, Sarge.
Yeah. Okay.
I got you standing wearing it with holding two giant buckets like you just collected all the chum from behind the dump dumpster at the bar, and you're going to go home and make ice cream out of it. Hey, what's going on, you bombastic butt fudders or buck fudders? I'm a little under the weather. Welcome to Grunt Speak.
Live from the lair.
This is Blast Hard Cheese and the Dyslexicist in the house.
Blast Hard Cheese.
And I'm drinking. Well, that was me twice today.
Oh, I don't need to hear this.
You want to hear?
No, please.
Just
move along.
My schwan still smells like.
Stop! I don't need to hear this, man. Come on. Stop it! Stop.
I'm Big Spoon.
Just leave it alone.
All I see is feet.
Just leave it alone.
Looks like you're putting your foot in your mouth.
Does it?
I don't know. From my angle over here, I just see you're like Tim the Tool Man's neighbor, like Heidi Ho neighbor. What's going on, ladies and germs? We already got a couple of super chats on YouTube from Paul. Sent in 10, says thank you, Pop. And Plains Warrior tossed in 5 and says, y'all hear YouTube? New CEO said YouTube is a bastion of free speech.
Yeah, bullshit. We're losing 200 to 250 subscribers a day.
And yet, our numbers don't really move.
No.
It's amazing how that works. We've been nipping at the heels of 133K now for months.
134.
Well, and every time we get just about the... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're getting too good again. All right, we got to unsubscribe a bunch of people against their will. They'll never find out.
Yeah. YouTube keeps flicking us off.
Like a booger. Big Shell just jumped in. I can beat Pop in a gunfight in Call of Duty.
Well, nobody's going to beat Killer Kid 313, or is it 616?
Well, by now he's probably old enough for that whiskey you promised him.
I know. That bastard. He was like 8 or 9 years old.
It's been a while.
And I just had surgery, and I was laid up for about 10 days, and all I could do is
sit on your butt donut and play Call of Duty.
Xbox, Call of Duty. And this one little kid, and he had a head mic and everything. He killed me in one game like 16, 18 times. Like, he'd kill me, and then you go back to the spawn point, and he had played the game so much, he literally would throw a knife into the air on one of the occasions. Literally, I'm like, I'm back in the game. I'm like, God damn it! And I told the kid, I'm like, give me your address. I'll mail you some goddamn whiskey. But yeah, he'd be old enough to drink it now.
Outstanding. Axel Milan decided to toss in $49.99. Thank you very much. He says, keep fighting the good fight, lads. Thank you very much.
We're trying. We're trying.
But before we go any further, everybody is going to want us to talk about this, so we're just going to have to get it out of the way, I think. And of course, I am alluding to the Commiefornia stand wildfires. Well, wildfires. It's kind of hard to call them wildfires when you can easily prevent them with controlled brush burns, and
Correct.
You refuse to because climate change. Oh, I'm sorry. When your entire city is on fire and you are not in control of the materials that are burning, most of which are probably noxious and toxic, I would assume at least a good chunk of them have to be.
Well,
the tar on your roof definitely isn't something that you would want to just like burn like a candle and sit there.
What you get over there on the West Coast,
this is bad, right?
Is you get a lot of like the rainy season. You have a burst of growth, then it dries out and dies.
Yep.
And then there's so much trash blows around, it gets stuck in this dried kindling. So now you have super dry kindling with plastic, which is made from oil. What could go wrong? No. And Trump warned them in like 2018. He goes, this is absolutely...
they've been warned repeatedly. I have this article right here from the Center for Economic and Policy Research. U.S. Forest Service decision to halt prescribed burns in California is history repeating. Now you go back to here. Trump repeatedly warned Governor Newsom, or New Scum as he calls him now, I like that, by the way, about terrible wildfire prevention in wake of deadly Palisades fire. I mean, this has been going on since forever. Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, has done a terrible job of forest management. I told him from the first day that we met that he must clean his forest floors regardless of what his bosses, the environmentalists, demand of him. Now, I will disagree with Trump on that point for a very specific reason, and I will tell you why. The environmentalists have nothing to do with this. It is the giant corporatist cocksuckers who love buying up properties at fire sale prices.
Yep.
Who have a lot to do with this.
They've done that already in Hawaii.
Yep. Rich investors exposed for trying to get Lahaina wildfire victims to sell land amid disaster. There's a reason why. I think it was in 2023, BlackRock was responsible for the purchase of 42% of all single-family homes. This is all part of the you will own nothing and you will be happy.
But here's the thing. Maybe they could force us to own nothing, but we're not going to be happy about it.
No.
And literally, once the mob gets, I've said this so many times on the show, I think that's a broken record. Once the mob comes for you, you're not stopping it.
Yep. Yeah, the thing is, like, you can get the mentally weak to hate themselves just for their race. But the fact of the matter is that when you piss off Whitey enough, we have this track record of doing these things. What are they called? Oh, yeah, world wars. And they're not pretty. I don't want to see another one.
And also,
so stop fucking around or you will find out.
You got the 16, 17, and 1800s in Europe was Whitey war, central.
Yeah.
And it was brutal over there.
Brutal? No.
That's when you had incompetent officers that lined everyone up in rows and they shot each other. That's pretty close to what's happening today.
Yeah, no, right.
Check that. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, though, this looks like it's great for climate change, right?
Right.
Controlled burns, that's just the worst thing for the climate change, whatever. This, though, and not having any water to put it out because you decided to gut your own fire department for the purposes of DEI and making sure that shit like this can happen.
Well, they also lost 117 firefighters that refused to take the jab.
There you go.
And then they have selective hiring practices.
Yes, they do.
It's been going on for a long time. It just hasn't been like the past 10, 12 years. I mean, it's been going on.
Oh, it's been going on forever.
For about 25, 30 years.
Yeah, it was in 2023 when they created their little DEI bureau.
Yeah.
And promoted a black lesbian to weed out the bigoted firefighters on the force. But you can go all the way back to when Adam Carolla was in his 20s. If y'all haven't seen this video, I'll play it for you now. This is him giving a testimony and criticizing DEI. He was literally rejected from even applying because of his race and was told to wait 7 years because he was not black, Hispanic, or a woman.
Correct.
Take a look.
Geez, I want to talk about my white privilege so badly. I graduated North Hollywood High with a 1.7 GPA. I could not find a job. I walked to a fire station in North Hollywood. I was 19. I was living in the garage of my family home. My mom was on welfare and food stamps. And I said, can I get a job as a fireman? And they said, no, because you're not black, Hispanic, or a woman. We'll see you in about 7 years. And I went to a construction site and dug ditches and picked up garbage for the next 7 years. I got a letter in the mail sent to my father's house saying, your time has come to do the written exam for the LA Fire Department. I took it and I was standing in line and I had a young woman of color standing behind me in line. And I said, just out of curiosity, when did you sign up to become a fireman? Because I did it, or a person, 7 years ago. And she said, Wednesday. That is an example of my white privilege. It's
Now, this isn't just in L.A.
No, it's everywhere.
Oh, no. I took
all the Leftoids cities.
I took the Michigan State Trooper exam three times.
I remember that, yeah.
Three times. I scored an 82, an 87, and a 92. With the Purple Heart, you're supposed to get, I think, 10 or 15-point veteran preference. Okay, so I should have been over 100. Never called me. Never. And when I got out of college in 96, I applied for the alphabet agencies and federal law enforcement between 15 and 17 times a year. I got a call back by the FBI, made it through the first interview, came back for the second interview. They told me, sorry, you're not a woman, you're not a minority, and you don't have a master's degree in accounting. We can't use you. Secret Service, same thing.
Your white privilege is just really shining through, right?
So we're talking a guy with, Green Beret, Airborne Ranger, 2 wars under his belt. Top secret SCI clearance. College graduate. I think I graduated with a 3.15. It wasn't spectacular, but I paid for it chiefly myself. Couldn't get in. And you know what? Looking back on it, I think it's the universe doing me a favor, because with the shit show they have going on, I'd be stuck right in the middle of that, sweating my balls off, just waiting to retire.
Yep. And we both know that you are not good at censoring yourself around people who have they have eggshell personalities.
Oh, yes. and I also, if I came across...
Take a sledgehammer to that shit.
If I came across individuals who are doing egregious shit, especially to children, I'd probably be in a lot of trouble.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Little bit. Oh, you like sodomy, do you? Yeah. This nightstick's a lot longer than you there, Joe Petto.
Stop running. Stop running.
I'd like you to bend over in front of that door while I put this, put this plunger on it, and I'm going to slam it shut. I hope you like that shit.
Nah, man. In my opinion, if you're one of those dudes that preys on children sexually, you're not going to be rehabilitated. We need to go back to the old ways and just put you down.
Or at the very least, we can, make sure that your parts aren't there to do any damage. That's there's a lot of PDF files out there who request this because they know that they're fucked in the head, and they legit don't want to hurt anybody. They can't fight the urges.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're defective. You need to go back to the manufacturer for a warranty reset.
Go back to the spawn point. I hope you came with a gift receipt.
I'm just saying. I mean, at some point, it's going to get to that level.
Yeah.
When you can't, like, if you have to watch your kids like a hawk because there's so many, PDF files around.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time for people like, no, this has got to change.
Yeah, we're done here.
The hammer is going to drop.
Yep. Jail. And hey, it couldn't happen to a nicer group of people, though. I mean, speaking of PDF files, we all know most of them, at least the high-profile ones, come from these areas where shit's burning down. I mean, it's almost like...
Hang on. All right.
Just saying.
I was just talking about this with, I believe yesterday, with Battle Dwarf.
It's ground zero.
And I'm like, this is a sign of the universe going, oh, all right. You don't want to follow reality, and you want to be governed by people based on feelings, and you voted for this quite a few times. Well, we're going to give you some feelings. Because guess what? Reality doesn't give a shit about your feelings.
Yep.
And it will show up and ruin your fucking day.
You ain't kidding.
Feelings are not going to put out fires. Feelings are not going to rebuild shit. Feelings have done nothing but drain their treasury, siphon off their water, and put incompetent individuals in places of importance that have allowed this shit to happen.
Yep. Like, there's a lot of people out there trying to take the high road talking about this stuff. Like, these people don't deserve this. I'm going to disagree because
they voted for it.
Yeah, you get what you vote for. Yeah. They vote for this shit in overwhelming numbers because they're easily brainwashed, room temperature IQ, mindless drones. Yeah. And they just follow along because they don't want to be excommunicated from the lefty cult. Well, sorry, but this is what that looks like. Over 15,800 acres burned in the Palisades fire, over 10,600 burned in the Eaton fire, 700 burned in the Hearst fire.
And it's still going.
Mark Hamill's going to lose his home. Couldn't happen to a nicer... Whatever, he's a Sith Lord now. Fuck that guy. But yeah, I mean, like I said, breathing in that nice climate change smoke. Yeah.
Canada.
This is just fine.
Wasn't it last year? Canada had a wildfire get out of control because of their diversity hire fire department.
Yeah, they literally lit a fire to be put out by their diversity hires, and it got out of control.
It got away from it.
This was supposed to be a contained, like if it was a movie, it'd be considered a closed set. Okay, like that. This is separate from. No problems here. Big problems here.
Now, I want you guys out there to pay attention to this. Canada is basically being run like a communist country.
Yep.
And they want that for the entire United States of America. And they almost got their wish.
Oh, yeah. Trudeau says flat out that he thinks China is the model for the world.
Yeah.
It's no wonder their healthcare system does nothing but kill people now.
Well, they're having serious problems over there with their unemployment, their economy, and they have basically uncompleted super real estate projects.
Are we talking China or Canada?
China.
Well, yeah, China's a paper dragon. They're going to burn too.
Canada's, they're being run by their DEI hires as well.
Communism always fails because you have to completely disregard human nature to believe in it.
Correct.
It doesn't work. But never will.
But like I've said this before, you have capitalism when it's unchecked and you allow too many monopolies, you get people at the top that do the exact same shit.
Yeah, because it's at that point it's not even capitalism. You're talking about carpetbagging. That's cronyism. You're not even part of a capitalist system anymore.
Yeah, in my opinion, we need to rip apart these huge corporations and humble them, take away their pride, and try to help the little guy get his business up and running, which the Democrats, the progressives have been crushing for the past 2-3 decades.
Yep. I love being the one to actually talk to somebody who considers themselves like a classical liberal and just be like, that hasn't been your Democratic Party for a long time.
Yes.
They're the party of big money, and it's because the big corporations realized that the best way to crush out competition wasn't to cut taxes, which makes it better for everybody. It was to increase taxes, increase regulation, because they can afford the army of lawyers and accountants. You can't.
Yeah, and another thing. This is going to last about another 7 days, and it's going to drop out of the media.
Because it's too inconvenient.
Well, our media is owned by 6 corporations who want to control the hearts and minds of the country.
And essentially, those 6 corporations are now in a never-ending circle jerk with a bureaucracy that has allowed them to run roughshod over what they consider journalism and is actually propaganda.
Case in point, the New Orleans rundown incident, right?
Yeah.
One of my boxers that I train works as a CNC guy, and he makes gears and cuts metal. He's one of those guys. Somebody in his shop has a son who's now brain dead with 2 broken legs, who got hit by one of those vehicles. Ooh. I think maybe it's brain damage. I don't know if he's brain dead. And the kid literally just flew down there, for that once or twice in a lifetime experience. I'm going to have New Year's Eve in New Orleans, or I'm going to have New Year's Eve down, in New York City. And he's in a hospital bed right now, and he's all effed up 3 ways to Sunday.
That's messed up, man.
Yeah, that is screwed up beyond all recognition.
Yep.
And Steve and I talked about this. It's one thing to get radicalized and get pissed off, and you decide to take action. I don't condone it, but I understand it. What I cannot get behind at all is getting radicalized and taking out on innocent people.
Yep.
For God's sake, we have a FOIA. If you're pissed off, pull the paperwork, get the names of the people that are responsible for what's going on, and just go after them.
If you must.
Now, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just saying, I'm just sick and tired. I've seen 3 fucking wars. I'm sick and tired of innocent people getting ground up in bullshit. God damn. I'm sorry. I'm getting
no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And what makes it even more insulting, or should I say, what makes it even more insulting is when not only are the DEI hires causing a lot of this shit and a lot of this suffering of innocent people, all right, when you try to hold them accountable for it or even ask them questions, this is what you get. This is the mayor of LA, who I'm sure was
I've seen this twice.
Duly elected, right? But just listen to her answers when she's asked questions.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today?
Apparently not.
See, I could not be that calm. I couldn't do it. I'd be like, hey, bitch.
Be like, you're going to answer for this shit, or we're going to make you answer for this shit.
Look, we're beyond resigning here.
Yeah. She needs to be pulled out and hoisted up by her fucking ankle.
Like I was listening to, was it James Wood?
James Woods, yeah.
Yeah. He
one of my favorite actors. That's the thing. Just a quick aside. If you ever wonder what happened to some of your favorite Hollywood actors and you know they're still alive, they're based. And they refuse to go along with this shit. Back to you.
And he brought up, he goes, no, we're beyond resignation here. We need to have tribunals and start holding these people accountable for their obvious, either it's incompetence or willful disregard for what needs to be done. They want to push their bullshit progressive agenda, which is based on feelings instead of facts. People need to start getting arrested, prosecuted, sued into the Stone Age. I would love to see the mayor of L.A. homeless, begging for sandwiches on the side of the road in 10 years.
Amen to that.
Fuck that cunt.
I will only disagree with you on one point.
Okay.
The whole thing. Yeah. The progressive agenda is not based on feelings. That's how they sell it to the useful idiots. It's based on a pure, unadulterated lust for profit and power. And they do that by fascistically teaming up with the big corporations like BlackRock to perpetrate disasters like this so that they can continue the economic circle jerk where the bureaucracy gets bigger, the corporations and the profits get bigger, and the scraps for the rest of us get smaller and smaller.
Yeah, and we need to start going after companies like BlackRock and just ripping them to shreds.
We need to cut the head off of that fucking Hydra as soon as possible.
Yeah, and we have like a huge homeless problem here in the United States, and I will put the blame for that as our very own government over the past half century has allowed our corporations, our companies to send the jobs overseas. So the jobs you needed or you need to have a living wage and keep everything rolling, they're gone now.
Mm-hmm.
They've been shipped overseas so people could do it for 5 cents on an hour instead of a decent wage. And we're seeing the effects of that. And it breeds hopelessness, helplessness. People get hooked on drugs, they start drinking, and then everyone's like, well, they're homeless because they're hooked on drugs and they're drinking. Yes, they are. Now. But what put them there?
Death of hope.
You have to ask those questions. And now, we have some states are like, well, we're going to fix this by raising the minimum wage to $20 an hour so people can live. Yes, you need jobs with a living wage, but you're not going to get that wage from a business model which is put together to hire high schoolers, college people, or people who are retired that just want to work part-time to, knit the edges together. You're not going to get a living wage out of a fast food restaurant unless you're the manager. That's a whole different argument. But if you're like building tacos at Del Taco and you want to get paid, $25 an hour, I'm sorry.
Suck a dick.
Your labor is just not worth that kind of funds. And there you go.
You're a lettuce and tomato slinging monkey.
Yeah,
anybody could do that.
Now, last Thursday it was Tuesday. No, it was last Thursday before I did the show. I decided like, hey, I'm gonna swing by Del Taco because I haven't had Del Taco in 10, 11 months.
So you decided that it was just a good day for your ass to turn into a water cannon?
All right, I'm not used to eating fast food anymore. So I ate 3.5 Del Tacos. I was good to go for about 90 minutes. Then I'm just like, whoa, I'm fucked up. Dude, I was jacked up
Seriously?
Sunday. Yeah, I had to go take my blood pressure meds. And
I know exactly what that sounded like, too.
Yeah.
That Del Taco.
Oh, shit.
Exactly.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm glad I wasn't here.
So I learned a valuable lesson. I'm just going to continue to fucking, cook my own food and eat clean.
Yes, it's a very good idea.
And I am shocked that my body hasn't rejected my former diet decades before this.
I'm surprised that they didn't reject this brainless bitch. At least Biden has an excuse. He's got dementia. I have no excuse for this.
If you need help, emergency information, resources, and shelter is available. All of this can be found at URL. Los Angeles, together is how we will get through this.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
Oh, wow.
URL means she was supposed to give the website.
Yes.
Instead, she just read URL. It reminds me of the time when Biden actually spelled out DOT instead of saying .com.
Wow. I don't know. But can you let's just wrap our head around this.
The real winners get elected through DEI. What can I say?
We've had people warning California that this was going to happen for decades.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm all for doing whatever you can to preserve the environment. I'm totally cool with that to an extent.
To an extent, of course.
But they have done it to the level of lunacy. They have literally leveraged millions of people's lives against smelt.
Smelt.
And there's footage out there of Governor Newsom bragging about, we've torn down so many dams. And all right, correct me if I'm wrong, but California is a very arid state.
Mm.
And if you want to live there, you need this molecule called water.
Water?
And in that environment, water becomes very valuable. Wars have been fought over water.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Murder has been committed over water. And now we have a city burning down with 100-mile-an-hour winds, and they have no water because it was discharged into the Pacific Ocean.
Which I was assured by now would have already flooded half of the United States. Al Gore promised me.
Yes.
It's almost like he's a lying piece of shit.
And
just trying to help the government grift and expand its influence and taxation.
Yeah, and if BlackRock actually believed that the sea levels were rising that quickly, they would not be fighting to buy all of this land in Hawaii and now on the West Coast.
And if these people actually believed in reducing their carbon footprint, they would be doing climate summits over Zoom instead of flying there on their private jets. You see where this is going?
Yeah. Let's see. California is full of hypocrite land.
Yep.
And
that's why I call it California Stan.
I hope that the death toll is very low. I really do.
But hey, you know what? All those people who made a promise to leave the country if Trump was reelected, and if they decide to stay, and now their houses got burned down, I call that karma.
You got nothing holding you back now.
Get the fuck out of here. We don't want you here anyway.
Yeah, you could take your insurance settlement check and just go live overseas. Oh, wait a minute. Most of the insurance companies no longer insure houses in California because of the fire risks.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I believe it was August or October, like thousands and thousands of homes had their fire insurance dropped.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just leave that one.
No, well, and here's the thing. You're going to have those people all clamoring to the federal government to be compensated.
No.
Over the fact that their very own government in their state failed them, and they voted for that failed government time after time after time.
And they keep supporting politicians who send vast amounts of our money over to Ukraine instead of dispersing it to people here who are trying to get through natural disasters.
Correct. And what about the hurricane flooding that took place in North Carolina? There's still people there living in tents.
Yep.
There's still people without functioning roads.
Yeah, and I love it. The cities where they live are still trying to charge them property taxes for homes that they can't even live in.
Yes.
Get fucked.
Yeah, and I haven't even seen a correct counting of the dead.
Yeah.
They're still finding dead bodies all over that place. And they will for quite some time.
Well, maybe they'll just preemptively call it 6 million and then expect you to take it at face value.
Well, I'm not going to get into that's a different show.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
That's a different show.
That's every Steen Singelberg Timowitz. I'm just saying.
That's a me and Bettledorf show.
I'm just sorry that the more you learn, the more you realize history should be called shitstory.
Yeah. You're not wrong there. But I mean, and here's the fucked up part. These winds are expected to go on for like another week.
Yep.
You are not going to be able to put out shit while you have those winds.
Oh, and just so everybody knows, the first batch of fires began before these winds picked up, which is a little strange. Kind of like, houses and cars with a blue, paint job in Hawaii magically didn't burn. I'm just pointing these things out. I'm not saying anything.
Well, you do have the mass homeless problem, and those people light fires to keep warm, which is, standard stuff. But when you have so many homeless people and so many fires, you're raising the risk for Murphy to come along and put his penis right in your ass.
All 18 inches.
And that is exactly
And
what happened.
Murphy's not a tipper. He likes to go balls deep.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're going to be able to track where this fire started because,
Drew Barrymore.
oh yeah, too much friction in her snot box.
Actually, that was a fire starter reference, but it's all good.
Well, it's the same thing.
I'm just revealing how old I am. But enough of that shit. This is a Thought Thursday. We've got some goodies here that we really want to thank all you guys for. We got some letters. We got some good stuff in the mail here. One of you awesome mother fornicators decided to send me the Criterion Blu-ray of Yojimbo Sanjuro, the Akira Kurosawa flicks. Thank you so much. I do not own this. This is very much appreciated. You guys are awesome. What else we got down in here? What is this? Gundam Barbados Lupus. It's from my boy. I got a Gundam figurine here. I was expecting Vaginal Voltron after the ride and roast that we did. I'll just tell my boy it's Vaginal Voltron. He'd be like, "What?" It's just in case it smells funny. It's okay.
Nice.
We got a couple of books here. Actually, the same book here. Saga Chronicles, Volume 1 by John Stryker Meyer. I'm guessing one for you, one for me. So thank you very, very much.
Yeah, that's all Vietnam era.
Is this the box that the cards and everything came in, or is this a different?
No, the cards came in the bigger box. With
came in the bigger
dehydrated
box.
Food.
Ah, yes, we got all the dehydrated food from Airman Fitzy. We got enough dehydrated food here to turn a wet, soggy veg into a bucket of sand. We got potatoes here. Looks like oranges, possibly, but maybe blood oranges. The way that the colors look.
I don't know, but they'll probably go pretty good in alcohol.
Maybe. I don't know. A little bit of alcohol never hurt anybody as long as it's not in copious amounts.
Yeah, that'd be.
What else we got down here?
It's a dried citrus fruit and would go well in a dry martini.
This looks like jerky, my friend.
Could be jerky.
I think turkey jerky, if I remember correctly.
And we do have bacon in there too.
Hang on, can we do a little sniff test here? Oh yeah, that smells like some good stuff there. That's got to be the turkey jerky there.
Yeah.
And they said there's bacon in here too?
There's bacon at the bottom.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Fitzy, and thank you for the cards. Got some physical cards that are represented from what we got here. Learn to dish out those insults, the manhood card, the paranormal pop card containing the evil. Here, let's read one of them for Pop's X. Just X. We're not going to go into the withdrawn, indignant fornicator entertainer territory. What do we got? Allegedly, it was called a jump-baleen before you jumped on it. And we'll leave that there.
We'll leave it right there.
All right. What else we got? We got some letters. I know one was sent in with a couple of sizable donations. Thank you very much. This one actually came with some silver. Comes to us from David, who is an architect and alien hunter.
That's cool.
Self-proclaimed.
That's a good combination.
I'm good for that. Sergeant Pop, love your programs, love what you do. And thank you and God for those 554, now 555.
Triple nickel.
Saved, triple nickel. You will be blessed. I wish I could help more, but I am retired. Drive a 2004 Ford F-150, and I'm the steward for the family farm, which is owned by my mother, who's in a nursing home, an aunt who's 90 and wants to die, and with limited budget. I don't part with metal easily for anyone, but I'm giving you what I can because you are a good and better man than I. I'm 70, married twice.
Married twice.
First divorce left me depressed for 8 years.
Yeah.
Even once put a 357 Colt Python in my mouth 3 months after she left. That's, yeah.
A lot of guys.
Could be your last blowjob, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's why I'm here, because you get caught in that moment of indecision at the bottom of the pit of despair, loneliness, and hopelessness. Hopefully you come across my videos and you can start laughing and laugh your fucking ass out of it.
Yep. Laughter may not cure cancer, but it can cure depression.
Yeah.
Just ask anyone. What do we got here? Who says, crashed a plane that left me with a fused right ankle. That's very Harrison Ford of you.
You got lucky on that one.
Just before I hit, I told God it's up to him if I live or die, as I didn't give a shit one way or another. I survived and became a truth seeker. Ooh, excuse me. In 89, I finally realized there's no such thing as coincidence and watched and waited. Also in 89, I was guided to go back to school and finished my undergrad and then stuck around and got my master's. Married a Ruski in 1990. that I meant that showed up in town where I was working with the KGB, the Kansas Geographic Bureau,
Okay.
was being trafficked by the Russian mafia in Milwaukee. Long story. Human trafficking does not sit well with me. Well, if it did, you'd be Bill Gates. So it was more a marriage of convenience as she wanted a green card and citizenship. As I had a friend in the Secret Service in 1990, I was able to put the fear of God into this dude in Milwaukee and was able to get her passport and clothes back from him. I really didn't expect anything except I needed a cook and a bottle washer who would also clean my pipes, if you know what I mean.
Nice.
Worked out. The Russians are pretty good at that. Not that I would know or anything. Worked out until 95 when she moved to Commiefornia stand to find a millionaire, as I was still in school. Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, good luck with your 0.01% chance of success on that one. We parted ways and I never looked back. She now lives in Albania. Another story for another time. There will not be a third, as I don't need a cat lady with issues. Yeah. Besides, I don't have time for whiners. For your and Blake's amusement, I have included some videos from a new hobby of mine and some activities that I participated in the last several years. The drone shit was my first effort at editing. That's right. That jump drive you gave me, it's still in my house. I need to check that out. I'll quit now before I get a homo suspicion point. But if you got some good drone shots, I will gladly put them at the end of lair videos for you and give you credit for that. Because I'm always using my own drone footage at the end of those. I'll quit now before I get a homo suspicion point. Keep up the good shit, Pop, and go where you need to be to serve your fellow man. Signed, the architect and alien hunter. Outstanding. Boom. Thank you very much, good sir, for the silver and for the letter. This one right here came with I think this may be the only time we're even able to use this tonight, because this came with a check for $2,000.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I could play that 20 times. It wouldn't cover it.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you. Mail to Redonkulas.com Productions.
Well,
not the only dyslexicist in the house, apparently.
Well, I do have the domain Redonkulas as well.
Guys, which includes, of course, Pop, myself, Battle Dwarf / Hobbit, Jimmy, Dave, the Cran Eater. I am 25-year retired Air Force desk jockey. I have never heard a shot fired in anger. This is a one-time good deal. I have unexpectedly gotten back some bread on the waters money I had kissed goodbye. Bread on the waters money. Is there a particular source of that
basically
expression?
Money that you think has totally gone forever, but somehow you get it back.
Oh, so it's kind of like you find a $20 bill in your pocket after it goes through the wash. Or
you loan a woman a bunch of money, then she actually pays you back, which almost never happens.
Yeah, it's usually a gift and you just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Especially if they're family. Woo! Yeah, good luck with that. Use this to fix your pipes and save some more troops. I watch and listen through Odyssey on an Apple 11 idiot smartphone. If you could please load the remakes of your old videos as new material so I don't have to scroll down for days to get to your old videos, I would be most grateful. My other request is for you to play the video of the black guy telling his woman, "Fuck you, we're not going to Disneyland." Or is it that effect? Or is it effect? I can play that, but I'll have to wait for new tech.
Yeah.
Be of good cheer. Signed, Terry. Thank you very much. And he says, P.S. Pop, fuck your 65 and out plan. I turned 70 this year. Every day I wake up and plan how I'm going to cheer up the folks around me. If that doesn't work, I plot how to create a little hate and dissension. Pour some coffee and stand back to watch the fun and games. My mission is now to flip people's default switch from the pissed off position to what fun can I have today position. And if you could do that while pissing people off, I mean, that's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
If we don't offend you, we'll try harder.
Yep. I plan to live long enough for my yet-to-be-conceived great-grandchildren to thank me for the little piece of Bitcoin that I've collected for them. PPS, feel free to read this live or use my info as you need. You are the man, sir. Thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. And we got, he sent this in, too, as it's an old Garfield comic. So I'm not really sure how well this will play on the air, so I'll leave this here. I'll enjoy this for myself. Sorry, like I said, I'm a little under the weather.
Yeah,
I don't have like a cold or anything, but I've got that throat tickle from the post nasal drip. It's been going on for like 2 days.
I've had that quite a few times.
Every time we go through like severe temperature oscillation, like 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, it was 50 fucking degrees and sunny outside. And for the last week now, it's been in the 20s and in the teens at night.
Yeah.
Like there's no getting used to the weather here.
And guess what? It gets worse the older you get.
Yay.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. I'm going to be 42 in April.
So at my age, and with all my injuries, like I'm just now adapting to the 20-degree weather. But when it warms up and it jumps like to 50 again, I'm going to be screwed up for about 2 or 3 days. I'll get up and I'll wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, it's warm outside, isn't it?
Getting old sucks, man. But hey, that's why we're doing all the we do a lot of herbal treatments around here. I just got Pop a belated Christmas gift, an encyclopedia of herbal medicine, because I know he's into that stuff, same as I am. Because if 2020 taught you nothing, it should have taught you that Big Pharma can go suck the entire bag of dicks. In fact,
Yes.
I've got a whole bag of dicks in my garage with their name on it.
And they can fuck all of the offs.
Yes, fuck
Yes.
all the offs and suck all the diakas.
There's a whole big bag of diakas out there
Mm-hmm.
that they can suwaki.
I'm drinking beer because it's carbonated. Helps to clear my throat. Mm.
Yeah.
And it was probably like the last pack of summer shandy at the store, and I love this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like lemonade and beer had a baby.
I got to go easy on that.
I'm
shit
on
for a
the
while.
ear, baby. Made up on the food chain. I'll read a couple of super chats here, and then what we have here.
An 8-page criticism.
An 8-page constructive critique from one of our chick fans. We don't ordinarily get constructive criticism from the chicas on this show. Usually we get bona fide hate mail.
And it's usually all the same.
So it's interesting when we actually get somebody who takes the time to handwrite us constructive critique in gigantic loopy chick letters. Like all chicks write like this. You know what I mean? They just do. And I'll tell you what though, if I saw a single I dotted with a heart in this, I would have just burned it. Okay, so I'm glad that you didn't do that. Okay, we're too old for that shit around here.
Oh my God.
But let's read a couple of chats here, and then we'll jump in. I might as well read the Rumble chats too. You guys are awesome. All right. Mazatsal says these companies have their own armies. It's called private security.
You're correct.
Shiata. Dung is fun. This is what I was giggling about earlier when you were like going off into serious land. Hey, Pop, you look a little round in the middle. You go back in the military, huh? You join MEAL Team 6? That was a good one there. Good
Meal
stuff.
team. I actually lost a lot of weight.
Yeah. When you get older, though, like it doesn't matter how much weight you lose. It's like you always got that little bit of a belly pudge, you know?
Well, I got that after Ranger School, actually.
Oh, from slimming down and then trying to gain it back?
Yeah, well, like if you watch my early fight tapes, I had no abs.
No.
I just had ab.
I had a keg.
And that was I was fighting at like 176.
Yeah.
Now I'm like this morning I was 194. So I've thickened up in the arms and legs, but I still have a little bit of the flippity flappity going on.
You're done growing up, you got to grow out.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Thank God I lost, was it 30 some odd pounds?
Houston Duck says, if you want to see something really shocking, pull up the 1976 electoral map. Electoral map. United States. Because, it's important to know which country you're talking about here, right?
Yep.
You would think. All right, let's take a look at it here. No, that doesn't help at all. All right, Wikipedia, I guess, is going to have to help us out here as much as I hate going to that bullshit site. All right, let's take a look here. Where's the map? Jimmy Carter.
Ooh.
Oh, wow, look at that. That's very interesting indeed. It was West versus East?
Yeah.
Wow. Kind of makes me question that whole barbed wire movie where it was a West versus East Civil War.
But was that back when red was the Democrats?
No.
Okay.
Gerald Ford, Republican, red. Jimmy Carter, Democratic, blue. Yeah, red and blue. Noted there.
Wow.
297 to 240. Fascinating. He only carried 23 states in D.C. and still won. And, nobody regretted that.
Yeah,
right?
he just died, too.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. That
is what it
fucker
is.
lived to 100. Had brain cancer, all kinds of crazy stuff.
He wanted to get rid of the guinea worms. He about did it too.
Yeah, and actually, he's the one that allowed China to start their march to where they are today.
Yep. And California was red. People forget that through the 80s, California was red. It wasn't until that basically Reaganism got absorbed by the Democrats, and that's when you started developing your uniparty, that shit started getting crazy like it is now.
Yeah, I think it was actually starting back then, to be honest with you.
Yep.
The uniparty.
This is bad, right?
But also, you got back when that election took place, the Democrats and the Republicans actually had real stuff that they wanted to do, not stuff based on skin color or feelings or diversity, fairness, all of that touchy-feely horse shit, which leads you down the road to
bunch of shit.
A communist hellhole.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Amen. Dung is Fun says DEI means didn't earn it or does everything incorrectly. I would also accept. Mm-hmm. Shark Denture is, where's Marina Sirtis? Deanna Troy is saying they deserve this for voting for Harris like she did for Texas when it got hit by that cold snap. Well, Holly Weirds aren't really up for that whole logically consistent thing. They pretend for a living. So
yeah.
Except for when, they find the CP on their computer, then that's the real them. Salon the Lich. How's that girl power dealing with the fires? Wonder how many BIPOC/LGHD TV/DVD with AIDS and ADHD contractors are there to rebuild the losses?
Well, first of all, there was, who was it? Was it a sports figure who actually lives in California? And he started a clock because he wanted to get some work done on his property.
A clock.
I think it was a pool or something. Maybe I'm wrong. But right around 1,000 days into the process, he's like, I've already burned through like $47,000 and it's taken 3 years. I'm giving up. All right. That is what you get when you employ people who don't need to be employed, but yet want to earn their keep by creating more hoops of fire and hurdles to jump through that don't need to be there. And I hope to God when Trump gets in office that he goes in there and fires these sons of bitches that have been nothing but destroying our infrastructures from having to permit or go through the proper steps.
And it's all about expanding bureaucracy and stealing more from us. It has nothing to do with what's safe or secure.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Absolutely.
They're trying to justify their own existence.
Like, case in point, there's so many kids that need to be adopted, but if you don't have $30,000 to $45,000 and willing to waive your constitutional rights, you're not going to be able to adopt these children.
Bunch of shit.
Yeah, and that does. You literally should have these people like, you want to adopt a kid? You want this kid? Okay, let's do a criminal check. You're okay, good. All right, sign here. Gone.
There you go.
And that would solve a lot of problems.
Yep.
With this show, what we're talking about here is just the crippling bureaucracy that we're killing ourselves with. We're literally inflicting the million paper cuts that are going to bleed us to death.
Yep, and people just keep voting for it because they want free shit. It's not free. You think that you're entitled to other people's hard work. And
or
money.
they want to think they're like, well, I'm woke and I'm a good person.
Bullshit.
I'm gonna vote for this. You're voting for it because you've been duped, lied to, and fooled with propaganda.
There you go. Mazatzal, Intercourse Europe, Fortress America. Winning. Houston Duck. I left Portland, Oregon back in 2000 because it had turned into a leftist freak show. Good for you, man. Getting out while the getting was good.
Yep.
Big Chad the Mad Lad. In the 1970s and 80s, the LA mayor was part of a young communist group that flew to Cuba 15 times for lessons from Fidel himself. Shocker. And one of the senators from Vermont took his honeymoon in the Soviet Union. It's good times. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yep.
Feel the burn.
Bernie.
Hobie Cat sent in $20 and says, truth. That's all we talk about here. And he follows it up with another 20 and says, I would love to talk with you guys. Hey, shoot us an email, man. We'll
Yeah.
talk to anybody, as long as you're not a dick. Actually, no, that's what we're kind of dicks around here too, aren't we?
Well, if you're not a troll.
Yeah, troll. Yeah. And even then, we have trolls, who come into the chat once in a while. It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Read some Rumble chats here, and then we'll get into our letter. Oh, there's a lot of them. MGTOW Mando, Blake, get better dandruff shampoo. The Southeast does not need any more of your flakes. What the hell are you talking about?
It's a troll.
You bastard. Gendai 351 sent us a video to watch later on called Pop Made the News, and we'll get to that one. Cliff 3188, gents, hope you're doing well. As for me, I supposedly caught roseola, a children's illness akin to chickenpox. Kicked my ass, and now I may have permanent liver damage. Fuck my life. God damn. That sucks, bro. I'm sorry to hear that.
If you have liver damage, there's an enzyme called serapeptase. And what it does, it dissolves the building blocks of scar tissue. Scar tissue is what fucks your liver up. Start taking that, break that stuff up before it becomes permanent.
Boom.
And you can literally reverse that shit.
Yeah, because your liver will repair itself.
Yes.
But you have to give it the tools to do it.
Correct.
Jerry Conway, so many wars fought in Europe in the past 400 years is the reason France's vineyards produce the finest wine, because of all the blood spilled on the soil for centuries made it very fertile.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, silver lining. At least I can get drunk. MGTOW Mando, send repedos for DNA recycling. Yes.
Just send them back to the factory for they've avoided their warranty.
Get her done. Jerry Conway says, I took the Boston Fire Department test in 1988 to be a fireman in Boston when I was 18, when I got out of high school. Scored a 96. Never got called. Go figure.
Yep.
Non-melanin challenged, only needed to score a 60.
There you go.
That's a 1.0 GPA. Good luck with that. Vincent Van Gogh, fuck yourself. Don't forget, when California had record rainfall last year, that cocksucker Newsom decided to drain the rain into the ocean instead of retaining it. Approximately 4 billion gallons.
Yep.
Mando says, Mark Hamill's worse than a Sith Lord. He is the Dark Lord of the Simps.
I just can't understand.
That is an awesome expression.
I cannot understand how he became so warped.
I don't know.
I just don't get it.
Don't know. He's a piece of shit. Alucard 1776, they deserve what they sow. I believe nature is saying, fuck you, you stupid sacks of meat. Correct. If climate change was truly a threat, this planet could flick us off like a booger anytime it wants to. It's not going to be a slow roll either.
No. And it wouldn't be the first time the Earth has decided to, hit the reset button.
It would be like a Roland Emmerich movie, only it would be it probably would be just about that many people surviving.
We're one super volcano away from World War VIII.
In the butt. Jerry Conway, correction, I meant 1985 when I was 18. Yeah, you're even older. It sucks, doesn't it? Rural man life. I'm from Northern California, originally raised on a farm where my family still lives. Governor Pete Wilson was the last normal common sense leader the state of California had. It's a nightmare now. Ugh. Pixels G-Tau. Pop! Can we find you under URL? If you look hard enough. International House of Whoop-Ass. Hey, guys, I have family in retard land, California, and they said that now that they have seen from their window that the homeless are also starting random fires along the city, they don't know what to do.
Well, it'll work itself out.
Don't know.
Darwin always shows up.
True story. Alucard says, the dog man called. She wants you to sing, and she wants to move in. Why is the dog man a she? Because it's a dog man. If you're going to troll, do it right, Alucard. Tomahawk, I don't buy the whole they voted for it elections are rigged top to bottom across the country. Only in blue states. And blue counties within red states.
Yeah, that's another thing we need to actually correct is we need to thin out the voting rolls to people who are active participants in the actual country.
No dead voters in 2025.
Well, no, if you're living off the dole,
and
you're taken from the treasury and you're not putting anything in there, you shouldn't be allowed to vote.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
LB Weaver, cocksucker in LA. That's how she got the job. That's how she got all of her jobs, by giving jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I always wondered why it was called a blowjob when she's doing all the sucking, and then I remembered it's her job to make you blow.
Yeah. Well, you know
now
what?
it makes sense to me.
I mean, if Kamala Harris was still there, she would have the prison population fighting the fires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if it's Big Mike, it's come swallow a hairy ass.
Oh, God.
Sorry, it's disgusting. All right, you ready for this letter?
Yes.
I got to read chick writing, so wish me luck.
Yeah,
especially
I read
with
it.
my throat.
I had
the
a
way
hard
that
time
it is.
reading it. I got about to page 6.5, and I'm like, eh.
Well, I know, especially for a dyslexicist, that like upper and lowercase letters, handwritten, are like your kryptonite.
Actually, cursive is the worst. I can't barely even read that.
Or me talking about my sex life.
Stop!
Is kryptonite.
Stop.
I was talking with Riggs Jr. online the other day. He's like, "I love when you do that. Never stop." Just because it fucks with you so bad.
Stop it, man.
She swallows.
Stop! God damn it! God. Well, hang on, I gotta purge the images.
This is what's going on in his head right now.
Yep.
I got cootie juices all over my dishes. All right, here we go. I am writing this because I feel the need to take up for the bad girls, seeing that we are being blamed for society's ills in the relationship department.
80-80.
According to the good girls, who are now the victims, saying we ruined it all for them. With a whole generation coming up out of sex trafficking and foster care, can you tell me that they are undeserving of love and happiness?
Okay.
I'm sorry, you're talking about the bare minimum of bad girls.
Well, okay.
Now, when it comes to bad girls and bad boys, it's a vicious circle. Bad girls turn good guys into bad boys, and bad boys can turn good girls into bad girls. All right? But the gatekeepers of sex have and always will be
women.
So you can't create a stud without sluts. So no matter how you try to twist it, it is the bad girl's fault. Sorry. And now when you're talking about sex trafficking and foster care, were they responsible for what happened to them? Absolutely not. Are they responsible for their actions as adults, knowing that they're fucked up and that they should seek therapy, and instead they decide to go medicate with cocks and meth and alcohol? Absolutely, they fucking are.
Well, yeah. Again, there's the accountability dodging going on, I guess.
It is what it is. Now, are we going to, absolve men of accountability in this for being involved in it? Of course not.
No.
We were all young and dumb and full of stuff that rhymes with dumb. And most of us do not hesitate to take up a salute on a nice offer. As long as you can double bag it.
I think I'm pretty much done with that.
Well, yeah, but in your youth.
Oh.
If there was lasagna attached.
I was a lawn sprinkler.
Exactly. You were slinging seed like an old bird feeder.
Hell yeah,
you were. So was I.
Oh, God. It was bad.
Yeah. And let's be honest. All of us at one time or another have been part of the problem. And when we point the finger at the bad girls, it's not to say that, men aren't to blame. Of course we are. But the market is controlled by these chicks.
Yeah.
So it sucks and swallows sometimes, but it is what it is. All right, I'm sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
Moving on. That's not what God says. There are whores in the Bible that were right by Jesus' side. That's right. When you want salvation, you go to Jesus. When you want salivation, you go to men. See what I did there?
Wow.
And he used others for good. May I mention the story of Rahib, who risked her whole family getting executed to hide spies for Christ.
All right, hang on a minute.
There are good women in the Bible. Whoever hasn't read the book of Esther, definitely make a point of reading it.
But there are just as many horrid women in the Bible.
And pointing to the Bible does not absolve women of their actions any more than it absolves men of their actions. Where are we? The woman who washed his feet with her hair and her tears. Some of us have not been loved and therefore don't love ourselves and don't know what a healthy relationship is or how to have one. That is a valid point.
That is valid.
That's a valid point. If you grew up in a dysfunctional environment, dysfunctionality is going to feel normal to you.
Yeah.
And, that's why therapists exist, even if most of them suck.
And that's probably one of the reasons why I was picking the wrong women, is because I was listening to what my single mother said women wanted, which was 180 degrees away from the truth.
And that's why you never, ever, ever take advice from a woman who couldn't keep a man or who wasn't raised by a man about what makes a real man. Because that's like building a motorcycle with IKEA's instructions for a bookshelf. Okay? It's not going to fucking work.
It's not going to take you anywhere good.
Just watch it fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
Until we learn how to love ourselves and know the unconditional love that Christ shows us, we are not capable of loving another, though we desperately want to. So we fail and cause damage. It is not intentional, as we would like nothing more than to have the love and security that eluded us. Well, if you don't know what it is, and you don't know what it's supposed to feel like because you weren't raised by good parents or you didn't have a father in the home, that's legitimate. However, as an adult, you've still seen enough right and wrong in the universe to make better decisions.
I would say there's some women out there who intentionally, like literally,
absolutely
want nothing more than to rip your heart out through your asshole.
Look at every female politician. Yeah. Virtually all of them. You can tell that they sucked and fucked to get their way to where they are, and they hate themselves for doing it. So now every man has to pay for every dollop of sperm they swallowed to get to where they are.
Dollop. Oh, it's just horrible.
Dollops for trollops 2025.
Oh,
go on a denture adventure. Disgusting.
Oh, my Lord.
The good girls have high expectations as they feel they are quite the catch, where the bad girls usually feel that they are undeserving of love and are prone to sabotage as a self-fulfilling prophecy, speaking from experience.
Therapy.
That is correct, though. Yeah.
You need therapy.
Bad girls do not feel worthy of love, so they tend to sabotage people who love them willingly because they're not used to that.
And
it's a valid point.
You need therapy.
Correct. Not to be confused with the rapey.
Yeah, you don't
do that.
Stay away from the rapey.
Yes. It's not a good thing. When a bad girl comes into her own or reaches the realization that she wants to learn how to love, and by and large, no one is willing to give them a chance due to the game and blame, or the shame and blame, some bad girls who get corrected would die for you. Bad girls can be rehabilitated, speaking from experience. I'm not saying that they can't. Absolutely. There are a lot of women out there who come from the kind of backgrounds that she's talking about, and they turn into wonderful people.
But I'm not paying for it.
That's the thing. Like, you're asking us to bet against the house in a casino.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're going to win. Most of the time, you're going to crap out.
Well, you have the 80-80 rule. 80% of divorces filed by women, and 80% of the time, the man is caught completely off guard.
There you go. And the thing is, you are making valid points. With that being said, you're not going to talk a dude into betting against the house.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
People who will routinely weaponize your past against you without a second thought, even though it was something they gave you permission to do, don't have a right to expect you to ignore their past behavior.
What he's explaining is the fight bank.
Yes. The hurt locker, in other words. Yeah. Fight bank, hurt locker, same deal. But, I mean, the past is the greatest predictor of the future. That's why the left wants to erase the history books.
Yep.
Take down your statues, all that shit. No, I'm not saying that you're wrong. Just most of the time you're wrong. 9 years monk. The hate comes from both sides. The women hate you because the men want you, because you do things they won't, and they are jealous. The men hate you because they think you are dirty. No, they don't hate you because they just won't wife you up. There's no hate there.
There's no hate. It's another thing is
these women have their place in the dating pantheon.
Like
it's just not going to be at the altar.
Yeah, like on all the hate mail I get to, it's like, you hate women. It's usually in all of them. And
No.
I have been to where the road of hate ends.
Yeah.
And I want nothing to do with it.
We wouldn't be out here telling the truth and explaining our own very checkered past.
Yeah.
If we hated women. If anything, we got to this point and we're trying to help because we love women a little too much.
I'm just trying to keep dudes alive by telling them the truth and warning them.
Exactly. So no, there's no hate there. Do not confuse, risk assessment with hate. Okay, You sound like a Democrat, and if you watch the show, I know you're not.
Correct.
The only one who loves a bad girl is the good Lord himself. Not true. So when you find him, you learn to love yourself, and only then can you learn to love others.
Well, I'm not going to say you're wrong there, but who am I to I'm not here to preach God to anyone.
No.
You need to work that out for yourself.
Yes. And there's a reason why women are not allowed to do that. Just saying.
Oh, yeah.
It's because you are confusing feelings here. Even though you're correct on a great many points, the sum and substance, the main theme that you're going for, is summarily incorrect. For the good girls that are bitching about us, have they reached out to a bad girl and tried to help her and tell her she isn't right to her ways? Yes.
Yeah. It usually falls on deaf ears.
Good women will routinely try to tell other women the same shit that we try to tell them. You know what they get called? Internalized misogynists.
Also, dick and drugs both start with a D.
Yeah. Meth and dicks.
I told that joke at 7-Eleven. I had everyone cracking up.
Fentanyl and phallus both start with an F. Actually, no, is phallus a PH? I don't know. Flaccid. Fentanyl and flaccid. Or we'll go with that instead.
I'll go with an F.
They start with the same sound.
Well, it all depends upon what country you're in. Because phallus is in some countries spelled with an F and some with a PH.
Damn it! Failing at my English degree.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that they haven't. You haven't met my wife. Women are petty and jealous and far too competitive to help a sister who is struggling and would rather sit back and watch her crash and burn so she can feel superior and have someone to look down on and gossip about. Hence the fat acceptance movement.
Frenemy.
Men are more of a brotherhood and do try to help a guy out like you are doing for each other on the show. Thank you. I know that there are safe houses for trafficking victims that rehabilitate. Not everyone was lucky enough to get services. Some of us had to get curb stomped by life to come to a place of peace if we survive it. And you know what? That'll happen even if you do everything
Everyone is going to get curb stomped by life.
Pop took the advice of the one woman in the world that he was supposed to be able to trust above any and all others in regards to pursuing relationships. What happened? Curb stomped like American History X.
0 to 60 into the wall in 1 second flat.
In the butt. Yeah. All 18 inches of Murphy.
Yeah.
So this isn't just happening to women.
No.
I support what you do, but know there will be a wife/baby shortage if the attitude persists on both sides. That I absolutely agree with.
And I'm going to be honest with the way the laws are and the way it destroys men's lives.
Yeah.
I literally will never, unless they change shit around, I will never advocate for men to get married or stay in long-term relationships or have children.
Honestly, civil unions, marriage licenses, all of that stuff, anything that involves the state needs to go bye-bye.
That's right.
No fault divorce, bye-bye.
We have too many laws micromanaging shit that takes place in your life.
Like, I'm sorry, but I am responsible for where my assets go in the event of death, dismemberment, what have you, okay? Whether or not I have a written contract with the woman that I cohabitate with should be fucking irrelevant in the eyes of a state that should have zero hand in the process.
Correct.
They can suck my fucking taint. Ugh. If the state hadn't gotten involved in the first place, marriage and divorce would probably be just fine. But everything the government touches turns to shit.
Yeah. And one of the big arguments that they used for no-fault divorce was women are committing suicide at unprecedented rates.
And even though men were still outpacing them in suicide and have drastically started doing so,
all they've done is move the suicides from the female side to the male side.
Yeah. And men already killed themselves more back then.
Yeah.
So all they did was take a problem and make it worse. Oh, but it's the binge drinking of the ladies that we have to worry about now, not the male suicide rate that we totally had a hand in, right? Wait.
And nobody talks about.
Nope.
I'm like the only comedian on the planet actively fighting this shit.
Because they don't fucking care. It was all
There's
part
no
of the
money and
business.
hope. That's why.
Yep. They don't want the white race reproducing. That's really. I mean, you take a look at some of the shit that that was published in the early 1900s around the time of Weimar Germany. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Let's see. I agree with that point about the babies and all that stuff. Let's see. If the attitude persists on both sides that women are unworthy of love because of past mistakes, or that men are toxic and deserve bad treatment. Now, I don't think that somebody who makes poor decisions is unworthy of love. Again, you are projecting your own interpretations onto what we think. That's not true.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm not going to pay for it.
Yeah, it's simple risk assessment.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want salvation, you go to God. You want salvation, you come to men. We don't have to subsidize your bad decisions, though.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
The simp economy needs to come to an end.
Yeah. Refusing to finance your bad, refusing to save you from a bad past is not you being unworthy of love. Mm-hmm. It's just a man saying, I'm not sure if I'm the guy for you. Sorry.
I don't blame them.
What it is. I don't blame them either.
No.
Because I'm sorry, like if a woman comes up to you and she's got meat curtains hanging down to her frickin' kneecaps because she, had 101 cocks ran through her in a single day, and then she thinks 1,000 is her next goal, and she's riddled with the hippel-hiv, are you going to raw dog that shit just because you want a family? Of course not.
Well, if you're a fool,
yeah, shit,
and you don't wrap your tool,
Digital Dave is sick, Houston Duck,
and you think it's cool.
Yep.
No.
Go dive in a pool. I'm looking forward to the change where men will be leaders again, so the whole culture can change.
Well, if you want men to lead, you have to stop producing third-string men known as females who are feminists.
Yeah. Stop telling men to get out of the way then.
Yes.
So that you can lead.
Yeah.
Well, women love to be like, well, we wouldn't have any wars. And no, actually, queens routinely declared war way more than the men. History's a bitch, ain't it?
Yeah, especially when you break it down to its numbers.
Yep. And that includes men taking responsibility for their sexual behavior as well. I can concur with that. There are some dudes out there, I mean, like, if you're banging like 4 or 5 different chicks a week, you're a problem too.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you're a man whore dipping the wick in everything, how do you down a hoe? Correct. I'm down. Although one requires work and the other requires, okay.
Oh, Lord.
Like I said, you cannot have studs without sluts who are willing to spread their legs.
The whistle sacks.
Yes. There's one thing that would fix all of this: impulse control. Stop thinking that everything is about instant gratification. Men and women alike. You guys are the ones boinking her. She wouldn't have a body count without volunteers, and she wouldn't have a body count without saying yes.
Oh, my God.
It's easy to point the finger at the bad girls, so let me remind you of more scripture. Take the plank out of your own eye before you look at the sawdust in mine. Everyone likes to turn with the bad girl, then talk shit when you really know better, because you knew you were hitting damaged goods and did it anyway. That's why condoms were invented.
Oh, Lord.
There are a lot of shameful things that men will do for a slump buster.
Well, and I've seen guys willingly bed down women that they know are stone crazy.
Yes.
I'm literally like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be hard to get away from this woman.
Yep.
I know, but she's so hot. She's also fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
No, I'll just take her home this one time.
Uh-huh.
Jail!
Yeah. And as far as the whole knowing a woman was damaged goods and did it anyway, I'm going to put it out there that like the likelihood of dudes banging the stripper on purpose is very, very low.
Unless
Women
you're in the army.
routinely lie about their pasts and lie about their body counts all the time, and then claim it doesn't matter when they're trying to pretend that they're strong and independent.
Unless you're in the army, those dudes are always banging strippers, man.
Dumbasses.
They marry him too.
Dumbasses. I'm just saying, like the average civilian dude though isn't going out there looking for a stripper.
No, they're not.
It's bad news bears, baby. Bad news bears. I was in segregation. For 9/11, all the bad girls would have left that prison to fight for this country rather than die. What? All the bad girls would have left that prison to fight for this country rather die free.
They'd rather die free than be in prison.
Okay. Bad girls still have dreams and standards despite popular belief that we have none or Alley Cat's standards. She was made for the streets.
Yeah, well. I mean, I've seen some women do some crazy ass shit that I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at Pornhub.
Well, there you go. Substance abuse, which runs rampant in this country, is a huge contributing factor as to why women are impaired and not making decisions with a sound mind. If you're talking about head meds, you may have a point. Average person is not a substance abuser. Drugs are bad, okay? We have established that. However, they're also expensive, and once you're hooked, the beast needs to be fed by any means necessary. Now, substitute drugs with cock, and that's most of your bad girls.
Yeah, and look, man, I understand the substance abuse thing, but you can beat it. There's all kinds of people that beat that stuff.
Yep. It's like, I'm sorry to disagree with with you summarily, but I kind of have to. Okay? I understand that you lived the life that you lived. You're speaking your truth. But the fact of the matter is that you're not going to override generations, centuries, millennia of behavioral evolution because you want to be loved.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm sorry that you
listen,
lived the life that you did, but it's not our fault.
Again, it kind of sounds blamey and shamey.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry that you grew up that way. Like whatever it was that you had to deal with that took you down a bad girl path. If you have truly self-corrected, awesome. Genuinely. Like
yeah.
I don't want anybody to get stuck in that hole.
That's a horrible world.
Metaphorically speaking, of course.
That's a horrible world, man.
It is. It's a terrible world.
Yeah.
No one wants to have to live in that, and especially doesn't have to be stuck in that. The fact of the matter is, though, is that your best chance for finding happiness is somebody who came from a similar background to you, who also self-corrected, who can understand your trauma and pain and how to not trigger it to send you back down that path. Whether or not you're going to be attracted to that guy is another thing entirely. See, bad girls love to completely gloss over the idea that they are in control of everything that goes in and out of here. All right?
And here's another thing.
There are so many dudes who I bet are littering your DMs that you ignore because you're not attracted to them.
Yeah. Listen, man, this whole idea of romantic love is pretty new.
Yeah.
Before romantic love, it was like convenience, marriage of convenience. Because guess what?
Or marriages that were arranged.
No, there's always been marriage. Yeah, well, that's also a marriage of convenience.
It is. Usually for the families, not the actual people.
Absolutely correct. But the marriage of convenience thing is, if you look back through thousands of years of history, that's pretty much all there was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It is what it is. See, and the thing is, those marriages tended to last. Well, whereas the men that modern women tend to pick, the marriages that modern women tend to pick don't really last.
But also back in the day, it didn't have the government feeding women and doing all. It was always like a woman would hook herself to a man. Yeah. He would work. He'd provide for the family. And somehow that was a bad thing.
Yeah, they incentivized the destruction of the nuclear family on purpose.
Yeah, and now I'm going to be strong and independent. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to be a boss bitch. And then all of a sudden, my fertility's gone.
Balls.
The world is ending. And you did it to yourself.
Yep. And like I said, it doesn't mean that you're unworthy of love. It just means that you may not be able to get that love from good men who have always been good. You're probably going to have to look for somebody who understands where you're coming from and has lived it.
Yeah, he might have been kicked in the dick brain by life a couple times and put himself on the right path.
It is what it is.
Huh?
Some men can also take responsibility for turning younger girls onto drugs to make them pliable.
Yeah, that's fucked up. 100%.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But again, you're also we're back to, I'm sorry, this is a modern women trope. You are looking at the outliers to explain your position. That's not the average dude.
No.
Okay, we're not all going Cosby up in here with the Quaaludes, okay? By the way, he didn't rape anybody, but he was an asshole. I had a 24-year-old boyfriend / predator at 14 years old as a pun away? Pun away? I don't even fucking know what you're writing here.
Well, we know where you're going.
I know what you're going with this, yeah. Later in life, at 16 and 32 years old, a man shot me up with smack to keep me under his control. It's not all the bad girls' fault or the men's fault. There is plenty of blame to go around. That I can agree with.
Yeah, 100%.
I am not advocating to get involved with bad girls who are still sick and struggling, as that is a recipe for disaster. If they have their shit together and are really trying, in my humble opinion, I think we all deserve love and happiness. Correct. However, a lot of bad girls who are still balls deep in the shit will insist they have it all together. They'll insist they're strong and independent, that they don't need a man, yada, 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 that they're the prize and all that other bullshit. And we can't tell which is which. So that's not us telling you you're unworthy of love. It's us telling you you need to prove yourself to us if you're even going to get the time of day.
Well, and there's also that problem a lot of these bad girls have is they get bored with the guys that they have.
Yep. If they find a good man, they get bored.
Yeah.
And then they go look for the bad boy again.
Exactly. They want the feels instead of the reals.
Yes. There is no way to truly know whether it's a bad girl or a former bad girl. All right. And you insisting on it and just claiming that it is like, well, this is the internet. It must be true, right?
Yeah. Any man with any logic is going to be like, this is her past. I'm not going to take the risk.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how many times you sing that Spice Girls song. If you want my future, forget my past. We're not going to.
It's not happening.
Just like you won't if we do something that pisses you off. You're going to bring it up in 5 years.
That's going to be another thing in the future is there's going to be a lot of guys probably filing for divorce when they find out that their wife was the bad girl back in the day. And they're like, nope. I'm out.
Done and done. This is going to be a long show tonight, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
There are way too many, she says, lonely people in this world.
Amen.
Great. Amen.
Absolutely correct.
And women. We are hiding from each other, afraid to take a chance on each other, and it's a sad state of affairs.
Men can't afford it.
Yeah, it's because like the laws hold us accountable and they coddle you.
That's correct. A man makes one fucking bad decision, takes that wrong step, and he's literally a slave for 18 to 21 goddamn years.
Yeah. If you want to prove to us that you're really a reformed bad girl, get all the reformed bad girls together and start petitioning to overturn some of these fucking laws. Then maybe we can have a conversation.
Yes.
I am happy with my cat and hold the boxed wine. Hold the box wine. I am sober. Well, that's good. I was told in early sobriety, feel, deal, and heal. That is what I have done. It's actually not a bad thing. Feel, deal, and heal. It's pretty good. You could put that in there with the CHILL acronym.
Yeah.
This is what I have done. Head meds and street drugs don't allow you to feel and delays the healing process. Fucking men to that.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, head meds just correct a chemical imbalance in your brain that make you feel that way. Oh, did they test you for the chemical imbalance before they gave you the pills?
Well, they wanted me. They wanted me to stay on head meds forever,
because
the rest of your life,
because they wanted to create the chemical imbalance that is then maintained by the meds. They want you to be dependent.
Yes.
They want perma-patients, hence trans kids, which don't exist. There's only abusive parents. And a process it is. I'm glad the good girls got no problems or flaws and have all their shit together that smells like roses. Again, you're psychologically projecting your own inferiority onto them, okay? Good girls don't actually think that way. They know that we're all flawed.
Everyone's flawed.
I know because I'm actually married to one. One has to wonder why the men aren't lining up at their door giving the bad girls a hard pass all the way. Why are we a threat to such fine, upstanding females? You're not. Riddle me that. I just had to say that. My story is so much more, but right now I have to back up my bad bitches still in the struggle. Some fun, kind, solid females are flawed.
Everyone's
we're all
flawed.
flawed. And that's why your whole thing about good girls looking down on you is 1,000% weapons grade bullshit. Sorry, but you're wronger than two boys fucking in the same church you're praying in.
Oh, God. That's savage.
Okay? How you look at yourself in the mirror about your past is how you think we look at you. That's not the truth. All right?
Mm-hmm.
You are still needing to climb over the pain wall. Now, if you're too fat to climb over it because it's 8 feet tall, do some cardio and buy a ladder.
Change your diet and buy a ladder. I like that.
Okay? You're not getting off easy just because you're a chick. We're going to lambaste you the same as we would a dude writing us this same shit.
Everyone gets screwed with in the regiment.
Hence, Russian faggot coat. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
If I'm going to give him shit and make him puke, you think I'm not going to tear into you?
Yeah. You did put my face on a woman with a wedding dress.
Come now.
Let's be real here.
She continues, I also believe that instead of blaming the bad girls, let's put the blame, of which there is plenty to go around, where it belongs. So to be interesting. The breakdown of the family with malice intent for profit. Divorce has
Correct.
created a plethora of bad girls deprived of a father.
Correct.
Yep. Or not knowing what one is so that they don't know how to interact with men.
Correct.
Absolutely.
100%.
You have redeemed yourself. Also, the feminazi movement that demonizes strong masculine men and creates entitled women. Actually, it doesn't even really do just that. It labels certain behaviors toxic, but only
if men do it.
if men do it.
Correct. Like I said, third string men.
Yes. If these women didn't have double standards, they would have no standards at all. All family court operators who use our children for cattle and create broken, hurt children because happy, well-adjusted girls don't require services and therefore don't turn a profit. 1,000%. All of this has been engineered from the very highest levels, and it's important to understand that before you start spreading blame around the people who are just assessing risk.
I'm going to give her credit. She's really hit a lot of the bullseyes.
She has, like, this page right here is the best one so
Yeah,
far.
she's hit a lot of bullseyes, in my opinion.
1,000%. Who in turn are dysfunctional adults. Throw in the mix of narcissistic moms who see their daughters as a threat and competition and spend all their time stepping on their neck to come out the winner and destroy the competition. That creates more bad girls who are filled with unbridled rage. And when teenage rebellion hits, all bets are off. Not trying to change your mind or influence the show in any way, just holding it down as a bad girl for life.
Okay.
Understood.
All right. No problem there.
That whole page, very valid.
Yes.
Let's see here. Last page here. Lastly, the good girls sometimes don't take care of business and their men come looking for us. See, that's one of the downfalls of sexual variety.
Yes.
Is it fun? Yeah. Can it be addictive?
Oh, yeah.
Worse than any drug. Okay?
Yeah.
However, it is not good for your think and meat long term. It's as bad as watching porn on the regular.
And it's also bad for the little head as well, because you might catch yourself some vada.
The burning ring of fire.
Burning ring of fire.
We send them home to her with a smile on their face and an attitude adjustment. Men are guilty, too, of sneak creeping with the bad girls when the good girls won't put out or suck at it if and when they do, because they don't want to learn how to pleasure properly. The hot girls. I wouldn't even say good girls. That describes more hot girls. Well, no one ever complained before. Yes, I always love fucking a starfish. I've never complained about that in my life.
Oh, my Lord.
Back off. Because they are such a catch, sex is a treat to be doled out at her bequest. Bad girls do that too. Bad girls know that men are pretty easy to please. It doesn't have to be complicated. Correct. Keep our balls empty, our stomach full, and give us some space.
And a compliment once in a while that you mean.
We're pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah. Don't be a nagging bitch and go by the 2 F's. Fuck 'em and feed 'em. Also be loyal, ride or die. Bad girls have experienced a lot of badness and trauma and have a lot of love to give once it's safe to do so. I rest my case. Thanks for listening on behalf of the bad girls. You made some valid points.
Uh-huh.
The first 5 pages, though, I got to disagree with most of it.
Yeah, there was a couple bullseyes there.
Yeah. And the reason why I can safely do that is because you're talking about people who came from a particular background that I am very, very familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a couple of very good girls who came out of it. And one of the first things that they learned is not to blame.
Well, listen. Like my ex, I ignored so many red flags. It was a goddamn communist parade.
There you go.
And
I've done it too.
I made some decisions based on compassion and issuing a second chance, and it almost cost me my life.
Yeah. Axel Milan actually brings up a very interesting point when she's talking about ready to give love once it's safe, a.k.a. I've had my fun and I'm ready to settle down. Do you have any idea how many times we've heard that shit? Do you have any idea how many times the bad girl gets courted by the good guy and she withholds sex from him because she's still fucking other bad boys? Okay? We cannot tell whether you're truly a good girl or if you're a bad girl in disguise.
And you also have the alpha widow thing as well.
There you go. And that shit never goes away.
Nope.
Just like the dude who takes your virginity, you're never going to forget him. You're never going to forget the dude who alpha widows you.
That's right.
There's
you can't
a reason.
Unring the bell. You can't unring the bell.
Yeah, there's a reason why a lot of married men don't have social media. It's because they know a lot of those chicks from their past are going to try to come back. Oh, how you doing? Are you happily married?
I'm not saying that hasn't happened to me a few times.
Mm-hmm. In the butt. All right, ladies and germs. I would read the rest of the YouTube chats, but it is already 9:30.
Correct.
But I really wanted to get through that letter because I knew it was going to be very important to address. My back teeth are floating.
Yep.
So we're going to cut sling load on the YouTube skis. We have a lot of fucked up but funny submissions that we're going to be watching once we jump on over to New Tech. We have one video for every super chat that we watch tonight, and then everything after that is going to be shifted until next week. Actually, not even next week because I'm going to be gone.
Yeah, you're going to be gone for the second half.
I'm going to be gone for the second half of the month, pretty much. I'm going to be going to Texas, visiting family. We haven't seen them in 5 years.
The 12th through the 25th?
12th through the 25th, I'm going to be gone. So no second movie night this month. We'll be picking up again in February.
Yep.
All right. For those of y'all who didn't know, enjoy the tunes. Jump on over to New Tech. If Jimmy Bones, if you're in the chat, paste those links. If you're not, I will take care of it as soon as I get back from. There he is. The Bones has always got my back.
All right.
And that sounded really terrible phrasing. Okay. See you guys in 5 minutes.
All right. Out.